There was a young boy whose name was Yosef. He was 9 years old. And Yosef had a disease. Unfortunately, there was no treatment for his disease. They went from doctor to doctor and no one could do anything for him. What happened? The parents, they have a child who's dying. But maybe, so long as he has enough strength to go to school, maybe we should send him to school. So they do. And this young boy goes to school every day, sick. Sometimes he can't make it to school, loving to participate. Well, one day the rabbi announces, we're learning about Kever Rachel. We're going to do a project for 3 weeks. Everyone can make some artwork about Kever Rachel. So all the kids, one kid does a sculpture, the next kid does something with rocks, another kid does something else. This boy, Yosef, who's unwell, was very talented at painting. So for 3 weeks, he sits at home and he paints this painting and he's hoping he's going to bring it to school and he's going to win. Could you imagine how badly Yosef needed a win? The day comes, Yosef comes to school with his painting under his arm, and all of his friends who know how good he is at painting, they all want to see. He unrolls it in front of the kids, and all the kids, wow, beautiful, amazing. One of the boys, who was a little jealous maybe, he sees this beautiful painting. He grabs the painting like this, and he crumples it into a ball. And he says, this painting is a painting for a kindergarten kid. It doesn't belong in our context. And he throws it into the garbage. And all the kids are sitting there, shocked. No one can say anything. Who speaks like that? Especially to a boy who's not well. Especially such a beautiful painting. Yosef runs over to the garbage and he looks in, and his beautiful painting is at the bottom of the garbage can, sitting in spoiled chocolate milk. Ruined. He can't breathe, he can't talk, he doesn't want anyone to see that he's crying, so he looks away quickly, runs back to his chair. And at that moment, the Rebbe walks into the room. All the kids sit down, and everyone starts bringing up their things, and he says, Yosef, do you have a project? He says, no, I don't have a project. He says, really? I know you're so good at it. He says, Rebbe, I don't have a project. Okay, he doesn't have a project. That night, his father asked him, how'd it go? Did you win? And Yosef says, I don't want to talk about it, whatever, nothing, nothing happened, whatever. He sees his son is acting strange. He calls the rabbi. He says, Rabbi, what did you think of my son's painting? It was so beautiful, wasn't it? He says, your son's painting. Your son told me that he didn't have a project to give in from the project. He says, I saw him painting for 3 weeks. I don't know what to tell you. The rabbi says, don't worry, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. The next morning, he walks up to the boy and he says, what's going on? Yosef doesn't say anything. So he asks a couple of the other boys, and the boys tell him what happened. How this boy took the painting, threw it in the garbage, it was ruined. Yosef was so upset, he went and he sat down. The rabbi now knows. He goes over to this boy and he says, why didn't you say something? Even if I could, maybe I could have saved the painting. And even if I can't save the painting, maybe, you know what I could have done? Maybe I could have put that boy in detention. I could have given him, sent him over to suspension. I could have got him in trouble. And Yosef, looking up at his rabbi with his eyes pleading, he says, please, please, don't get him in trouble. When he threw my painting away, I was so angry. I was so angry. And I knew that if I said one word, what would happen to him, how he would be punished, how the school would send him home, how he would have to stay home and write letters and do everything. And I was so mad and I wanted him to be punished. I spent 3 weeks on this. And I knew if I'm sick and the rabbi finds out, what's he going to do to this kid? He's going to kill him and I'll be happy for it. But then I realized, and I thought to myself, you know, I'm sick. And there's no solution and there's no cure for my disease. Maybe if I'm mitgaber and I don't get the boy in trouble, maybe if I am ma'avir midotav and I do something impossible, then maybe, just maybe, God will do something impossible for me. And I'll be zochet to have a refuah shlema. So please, Rebbe, don't get him in trouble. It was so hard for me to be mitgaber and to not say anything. The rabbi is crying. He calls the parents. And the parents, after hearing how profound, what an adult, what a gibor their son, their weak son was, are blown away. But my friends, not nearly as blown away as they are a few days later when they get a phone call that a certain doctor had finally found a cure for their son Yosef, who had refuah shlema.